we can have sugar and all the other products. So with those few remarks, allow me now to welcome my boss, Honorable Senator Mutahi Kagwe, who is our Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development. Karibu sana, Waziri.
Good morning. Hamjambo. Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, the Honorable Professor Kithure Kindiki, distinguished delegates, fellow Kenyans, I welcome you this morning and heartily, particularly those from outside the Republic of Kenya. I am told that there are some 85 or so countries represented here, and I want to recognize those people who may be from outside the Republic of Kenya. If you are not a Kenyan, please raise your hand. If you are not a Kenyan, oh wow, please give them a lot of applause. And we have got, in my church, we have got a practice what we have, so that if you are next to somebody, if you are a Kenyan, and you are next to somebody who is not a Kenyan, please shake their hands. Please keep your hands up so that we know where you must leave. You cannot leave Kenya without shaking at least one person's hand. And there is a lonely one right at the back there. Please somebody walk there and shake their hands, because there is a guest. He must be from South America from the way he looks to me, but then again you never know. So distinguished guests and fellow Kenyans, first and foremost, let me take this opportunity to thank His Excellency the Deputy President for finding time to come here. We spoke yesterday. We agreed we are going to come to meet here at 9 o'clock. But His Excellency was so passionate about the whole thing about sugar that he actually got here before me. So Your Excellency, I want to particularly thank you and to really appreciate your time. I know the kind of schedule that you run, and therefore when you are here and you have come to welcome our delegates as well as meet the Kenyans who are here, we are particularly grateful, and I want you to know that we do not take it for granted. Before I say one or two things, let me also recognize one or two colleagues who are here. Since they are foreigners here, I want to show them how our members of parliament look like. You might think that they look different. So I want to first introduce John Bire, who is a member of parliament from Taveta. That gentleman is an elected person. So those of you in the sugar sector who carry out elections, this one is another one who is elected. I also want to introduce Eli Letipila. Eli, please stand up. From Samburu, from the area of Samburu North. Then I also want to introduce Cecilia Ngiditit, women's rep from Turkana. Karibuni sana, please feel welcome. So in Kenya, we have a saying that, and I don't know how many of you know it so far because it's very small, it's very easy to remember. It's called Hakuna Matata. I don't know whether you know that phrase. Hakuna Matata. Yeah, so if you don't remember anything else from Kenya, please remember two things. The first one is Jambo. Yes. Jambo, you all know Jambo. This is not a lesson in sugar, it's a lesson in language. Jambo, and the second one is Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata simply means that you can have all the fun you want in Kenya and there are no big issues. We are not a troublesome people. We are a happy people. And when I look around the room, I see also delegates from happy nations. So let me just say that agriculture in Kenya, and I will specifically want to welcome you as a CS for agriculture, where the sugar sector lies. We are particularly delighted that you chose this country to be the venue for this 68th sugar seminar, and I want to particularly thank the management and the authorities and the committee of the council for choosing Kenya. We want you to know that we are grateful. We feel honored that you chose our country to be. And particularly you chose Diani, which is one of our beautiful areas. And I cannot say anything else except that because the governor is here. You can imagine what you do if I didn't say that it was beautiful. So, Governor, I want you to know that we are also happy that you welcomed us to your county, and we are delighted to be here in Diani. I think I need not repeat what has been mentioned here about the importance of the sugar sector in our nation and the 6 million people whose livelihoods depend directly on the sugar sector. But I also want to say that the cooperation between the county governments and the national government, which is the structure of management of agriculture in Kenya, has been particularly fruitful in the last 2 years or so. We have discovered, and I'm sure there are many models here, from various countries will be different models on how to manage the sugar sector. And we are here, I believe, as part of the conference, to also learn from each other what the best practice is. In Kenya, for example, we discovered that the private sector is a much stronger player, a much more efficient player in the sugar sector than the government sector. So, hallelujah to those who have government sectors that are managing the sugar belt well. But in this country, our experience is that the private sector has been very, very efficient. And I want to thank the private sector players in Kenya, and both those from Kenya and those from outside the country, who have invested in our nation and have reaped benefits from the investments in the sugar sector. And to say to the international community who are represented here today that we continue to seek for other investors in the sugar sector, so that if you are here and you are fishing for investments in the sugar sector, please do not go away. There are investment opportunities here, including the county in which you are. So if you want to invest in sugar and live nicely on the beach, even as you work, this is a nice place for you to think about investment. So we are, in our model of management of sugar, we have chosen to lease those government-owned factories to the private sector, and we have seen immediate benefits in the last 12 months only. We have seen the private sector change the plight of our farmers to beneficiaries and people who are liquid and can therefore participate in the larger economy that we run in our nation. We have also focused completely on the farmer. The farmer is the most important person in the sugar sector. And I say this without any fear of contradiction. These are the people that the governor was alluding to. These are the people who wake up in the morning. From the farmer, we have got the sugarcane cutters, people who are very efficient workers who cut sugarcane, and sometimes there are snakes in those places as well. I know that it is the same in your countries as well. But they are sugarcane cutters, whether mechanized or not mechanized. We know that there are workers who are in those sugar sectors. But there is a tendency for us globally, as a global community, to focus so much on the sweetness of sugar, on the trade of sugar, on how sugar, the commodity of sugar, that we forget that without those people, if we do not, as a global community, if we do not address the plight of the farmer, the plight of the sugarcane cutters and other sugarcane workers, if we do not focus and think about those people, then our industry can be threatened, not from outside, but from within. I think the second factor that I want to highlight, Your Excellency, has to do with the byproducts of sugar. And to say that in our nation, and this is something we want to learn from the best in the industry, in our nation, the sugar sector is focused purely on table sugar, so to speak. But there are many, many byproducts, and especially as we face the Middle East, and hear of now a very famous place called the Strait of Hormuz, we now begin to think about ethanol very seriously, and the place that ethanol can play in terms of fueling the economies and the industries that we run, and the motor sector. So for us, we would like to invite those of you who are here to work with us in co-generation, in ethanol production, so that even as we think about the table, we also think about other activities. And I'm aware that in some countries represented here, sugar is a byproduct of the activities that happen in the sugar sector. This is information that hopefully we will share. In the next 2 days, in the next 3 days that we are here, let us share this information together. Because when everybody is efficient in the world of sugar, when everybody is doing the best that they can, then the world is that better off than it is when some are inefficient and some are efficient. So, Your Excellency, distinguished guests who are here today, I think today is a day for His Excellency to tell us and to tell you what he would like to do. On my part, what I would like to do as a final gesture to you is to simply say to you that you are most welcome. I hope that before you leave this country, you will not just have spoken about sugar. There are very many other things that happen in this country. And you just need to walk around the beach and you'll see them. You just need to visit in the evenings and you see the nightlife that we can offer you, even for good Christians. There is a place for everybody in our nation. So we would like you to take this opportunity to see Kenya, and hope that you will have a fantastic time. We hope that your memories of this nation will not just be about the beautiful conference that we attended in Diani, but also the beautiful environment and the beautiful people that you met. Climate change is with us. We will see that as you walk around, and climate change is affecting our sugar sector, but these are issues that we all face everywhere in the world. For now, karibuni Kenya, mujienjoy Kenya, na hakuna matata. On that note, Your Excellency, may I take this opportunity to welcome you to speak to the distinguished guests. If you would just stand up so that we can introduce His Excellency to come and make a speech.
Thank you. Please be seated. Jambo. I am honored to join you today as we officially open the 68th seminar of the International Sugar Organization, an event of great significance hosted for the very first time in Kenya. And I want to join our Agriculture Minister, Mutahi Kagwe, in thanking the ISO for choosing Kenya as a venue for this seminar. To our guests again, as the Minister and the Governor has already said, we extend a very warm welcome to magical Kenya. Karibu sana, and feel free to explore the rich magical heritage our country offers. To the International Sugar Organization, the government and the people of Kenya appreciate that you honored us to host this conference, and we believe we will meet your expectations. We hope so. Ladies and gentlemen, sugar is far more than a commodity. It is a covenant between a nation and its people, as it is consumed in almost, if not every home in our nations. Sugar is an important ingredient to most of our foodstuff. It is utilized in immense volumes daily in the baking of pastries, brewing of beverages, sweetening our lives, and providing the much-needed energy. Every hectare of sugarcane that sways in the breeze anywhere in the world represents a family's livelihood. Every meal that turns represents employment. Every ton of sugar that reaches the market represents labor, hope, and investment of thousands of men and women who rise before dawn to tend their farms. This is the deeper meaning of what we do when we gather in forums such as this one. We are not just discussing a crop or a market. We are discussing the dignity of farming communities, the resilience of developing economies, and the future of millions of people across Africa, Asia, Latin America, and elsewhere in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, here in Kenya, the sugar sector has suffered several challenges in the past, and I'm sure the same is the case in your own countries, at least some of your countries. The industry was weighed down by inefficiency, institutional lethargy, high production costs, and a regulatory environment that did not inspire confidence. Farmers were underpaid, mills were underperforming, investors were understandably cautious. The government of Kenya, in this administration of William Ruto, President of Kenya, made a deliberate choice to transform this subsector in several ways. One, restructuring the sugar board to make it leaner, more transparent, and more effective. Two, engaging with millers on clear performance standards. Three, bringing in the private sector to provide investments to run our sugar mills, as the Minister for Agriculture of the Republic of Kenya has just said. We have also, in this administration, initiated the revival of state-owned factories through leasing these factories to the private sector, which has attracted quite some serious private investments. We have worked to bring discipline and predictability to sugarcane pricing so that farmers can plan and invest in their farms with greater certainty. I am proud to report to you, delegates, that these efforts are beginning to bear fruit. Farmers are gradually gaining confidence in sugarcane farming. Investment interest is growing from our private sector. Output is improving. The planted acreage is increasing, and our national production is steadily on an upward trajectory. But we are under no illusion. There is still much work ahead, and we are committed to seeing it through. Distinguished delegates, as we look to the future of this industry, I would like to underscore that the model of producing raw sugar alone is no longer sufficient for all of us. The world is changing, energy systems are transforming, consumer preferences are shifting, climate pressures are intensifying, and the global movement towards sustainable circular economies is no longer a distant ambition. It is an accelerating reality. The sugar industry of tomorrow must be integrated and diversified. One that produces sugar, yes, sugar, but also ethanol, sustainable aviation fuel, renewable energy, bio-based chemicals, and other high-value industrial outputs. One where nothing is wasted and everything has value. In Kenya, we are already beginning to move in this direction. We are encouraging cogeneration projects that allow sugar factories to generate and sell electricity. We are exploring the expansion of ethanol production as a blending component for cleaner transport fuels. And we are investing in the research and development necessary to make our industry more competitive and more sustainable over the long term. In Africa, or across Africa, we have vast underutilized sugarcane potential. The continent has the land, the climate, the labor, and increasingly the ambition. What we need And what events like this help to catalyze is the knowledge, the partnerships, and the investment to unlock that potential. Africa has been described as the youngest continent on earth. Our greatest asset is our people, and specifically our young people. But we will not attract young Africans into agriculture with sentiment alone. Young people are pragmatic. They follow opportunity. They go where innovation lives and where enterprise thrives. Our task as governments and industry leaders and as investors is to transform agriculture into the kind of sector that ambitious young people want to be part of. That means embracing digital tools and precision farming, creating agribusiness ecosystems that generate real wealth, and building the infrastructure, the logistics, and the financing systems that allow agricultural enterprise to flourish at scale. The sugar industry, properly transformed, can be a powerful vehicle for exactly this kind of economic inclusion for African youth. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot talk about the future of agriculture and industry without confronting the realities of climate change. Across Kenya and the broader region, we are witnessing the effects of a changing climate in real time. Rain patterns and volumes are often inconsistent, while droughts and floods are becoming more frequent. This unpredictable weather pattern is not a future challenge, it is a present reality demanding urgent response. Climate adaptation must therefore be embedded at every level, in the varieties of crops we grow, in the water management systems we employ, in the farming practices we deploy, and in the resilience of the supply chains and manufacturing processes we build. The sugar sector can be part of the climate solution. Biofuels, renewable energy from bagasse, and circular bioeconomy models put the sugar industry in a unique position to contribute meaningfully to the global transition away from fossil fuels. No conversation about the future of agriculture is complete without an honest discussion about international trade. The global sugar market remains one of the most distorted in agricultural trade. Production subsidies, export support, and import barriers in various parts of the world create conditions that are deeply unfair to developing country producers who simply want to compete on the merits of their products. Kenya stands firmly in support of a rule-based, transparent, and equitable international trading system for agricultural commodities. We believe that a genuinely free and fair trade is in the long-term interest of producers and consumers alike. I call on all partners, and particularly those from major producing and consuming nations, to work in good faith towards trade arrangements that give developing country industries the space to grow, to invest, and to compete on a level playing field. The International Sugar Organization has a vital role to play in this regard, and we commend its continued commitment to dialogue, research, and advocacy on behalf of the global industry. Distinguished delegates, as you engage in this conference, I encourage you to write the future of the sugar industry boldly, wisely, and collectively to inspire growth, sustain hope, and ignite passion from our citizens. On behalf of President William Ruto, the government and the people of Kenya, I wish you exceptionally productive deliberations. May your time here in Diani be both fruitful and memorable. And on that note, I bring you greetings from the leader of our country, President William Ruto. He sends his greetings and wishes you well. And because my task was to officially open the conference, I have already discharged my mandate And with those many remarks, it is now my honor, my privilege to formally declare the 68th International Sugar Organization Seminar officially open. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Obrigado. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. On behalf